Most of the advice that you hear about Social Security usually boils down to one simple message: wait as long as you can. Delay until full retirement age, or even better, age 70. The idea is that if you wait, your monthly check will be bigger, and if you live long enough, you will collect more money overall. Because of that, some people will tell you claiming Social Security at age 62 is always a mistake, something that you should never do unless you absolutely have to and you have no choice. The problem is that this way of thinking leaves out important context. Social Security benefits don't exist on their own. It's just one piece of a much bigger financial picture, and when you focus only on the size of the check or a simple break-even chart, you end up making a decision that doesn't actually fit with your life. Your health matters, your spouse matters, your investments matter, your cash flow matters. Today I want to walk through 5 situations where claiming Social Security at age 62 can make sense. Not because it's always the right move, but because in the right circumstances, it can actually be the better benefit. Before getting into those situations, it helps to understand why so many people get this decision wrong. Most Social Security analysis tools compare what you'd receive at age 62, full retirement age, and age 70. Then point to an age, usually around age 80 or 81, where the total dollars collected break even. The math on those charts is usually correct, but the conclusion people draw from them is far from it. Those charts assume Social Security is the only thing that matters. Those charts don't show what happens to your savings if you delay, how much you might have to pull from your investment portfolio, or how much flexibility you're going to have to give up along the way. The first situation where claiming at age 62 can make sense is the most practical one. You need the income. Pulling at 62 doesn't mean that you failed at planning. It means that your real life is happening. If waiting to collect your Social Security benefit means running up credit card debt, pulling too much money out of your investments, or constantly stressing about your cash flow, that's a real cost that needs to be considered. Sure, on paper, delaying might look like the smarter move, but in reality, the trade-off could be worse. Locking in a smaller benefit can sometimes do less damage than the alternatives. A lot of retirement planning isn't about choosing the perfect decisions. It's about choosing the least harmful trade-offs. The second situation has to do with life expectancy. Most break-even charts only work if you live past a certain age. If you don't, waiting often means that you're collecting less benefit overall. Now, none of us know exactly how long we're going to live, but that doesn't mean you can't make an educated guess. Your current health, your family history, and your medical situation all provide clues. One mistake people make is looking at the average life expectancy numbers, which are actually calculated most of the time starting at birth. If you've already made it to your 60s, your remaining life expectancy is longer than many people assume and what the numbers provide online. That said, if there are clear reasons that you believe your lifespan will be shorter, claiming earlier could be a thoughtful choice. The third situation involves your investment portfolio, and this is where a lot of people miss the big picture. If you delay Social Security and you're no longer working, the money still has to come from somewhere. In most cases, it comes from your savings. Here's a simple example. Imagine 2 retirees with the same savings and the same spending needs. One decides to delay Social Security and pull an extra $30,000 per year from their portfolio for an 8-year period. The other claims Social Security at age 62 and uses that income to cover part of their spending. The first person ends up with a bigger Social Security check later, but a smaller portfolio because of those early withdrawals. The second person has a smaller Social Security benefit, but more money to be invested with more time to grow. Those basic Social Security charts don't show that trade-off, but it can make a big difference in your life over time. This doesn't mean that the market will always cooperate, because there are no guarantees when you invest money, but ignoring what delaying does to your savings is incomplete planning. The fourth situation involves differences between spouses, especially when one person is likely to live longer than the other. When one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse usually steps in to get the survivor benefit. In cases where one spouse has a much shorter life expectancy, delaying both benefits may not lead to the most amount of income over time. Claiming earlier can sometimes mean more total income for the household without reducing what the surviving spouse ultimately receives. This is why looking at the decision at a household level is very important. The goal isn't to try to squeeze every dollar out of someone's benefit in isolation. It's to make the whole plan work as smoothly as possible. The fifth situation involves family benefits. This doesn't apply to everyone, but when it does, it can matter a lot. Certain benefits, like those for dependent children, only become available when the main worker claims Social Security. Waiting too long can mean those benefits disappear forever. In some cases, claiming earlier can also allow a spouse to start receiving benefits sooner. These type of unique situations require careful coordination, but they're often overlooked when people rely on simplified advice. When you step back and look at the full picture, the decision of when to claim Social Security is one of the most important choices that you'll make in your retirement. It affects your income, your savings, your taxes, and your peace of mind for years to come. Relying on rules of thumb or advice that you hear at work or online usually isn't enough. The goal is to make a decision that fits with your health, your family, your savings, and how you actually plan to live. When those pieces line up, the decision becomes clearer, less stressful, and far more effective.